We bring Adam back in here to talk about Aaron's future. I mean, you could hear in the tone of his voice there, it almost seemed like he was kind of in shock. I think a lot of people were in shock with what happened at the very end of that game. What are you hearing about Aaron's future in Green Bay?
Listen, he set himself up to be in the spot he's in today last summer when the Packers were trying to get him to come back to training camp because the language in his contract was shifted, the numbers were shifted. His cap number for this upcoming offseason is $46.1 million. So he gets to decide what he wants to do. If he wants to go back to Green Bay and there's been a warmer relationship with the organization this year, he can do that.
And that's been set up for how long? For him to have that out?
It was set up last summer, right before he came back. So basically, that's what he accomplished. All the talk, all the chatter, that got him the restructured contract that empowered him and gave him the options and the flexibility that he now will have going forward. They can't tell him, you're not going anywhere, because they're already way over the salary cap, $44.8 million over. He's $46.1 million of that cap number, and he's the quarterback, and he gets to dictate where he wants to go. And he could say, as he's talked about, I could retire if I don't want to play here, or I want to play with that team, not here. Or I could play here if that's what he wants.
And that's why I asked you that question, because this guy's got a plan, okay? And I just find it hard to believe that he doesn't know what he already wants. I mean, there are plenty of conversations you can have behind the scenes with your agent or your agents behind the scenes talking to owners or anything like that. I think Rodgers has a pretty good idea of what it's going to be. Now, do I think that plan is in Green Bay? That's where I don't think it is. I think he is setting it up to where he even mentioned a lot of those free agents that the Green Bay Packers are going to have after this year, and he possibly can do maybe the LeBron/Brady thing in terms of bringing some guys with him to whatever team it may be.
Yeah, I could see him being out of Green Bay as well. My question for you, Adam, would be, can he choose to go to an NFC team, or the Packers, do they have any power at all where they say, hey, we'll let you go because we have to, but maybe just to an AFC team?
It's a good question. And again, I think that's where he's going to sit down with the organization. And I think they all know it's coming, those conversations. Now, where they go will be the interesting part. I don't think that if he said, I want to go play for the Minnesota Vikings, that they would say, no problem, we're going to trade you in our division.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of the Brett Favre thing. Hey, we're not willing to let you go to Minnesota. We'll send you to the New York Jets. And so, like, I guess in my mind, if I'm looking at the list of teams where Aaron Rodgers could potentially be next year, I feel like I should spend my time looking at teams in the AFC more than teams in the NFC. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying they're going to sit down and talk about it. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to control how this is going to go by and large. I think there are going to be certain limitations and understandings. Again, I don't think they're trading him to Detroit or Minnesota within the division, but they're going to sit down, and this is what he set up. This is the power that he gave himself by balking at going into camp, and this is what the Packers gave him in return. And again, they've had a great relationship this year. Let's see how they handle it. But he certainly sounded last night like a guy who was bidding farewell to a city. That's how he sounded. Love my time here. Appreciate everything. Appreciate the people here. That's how it sounded, and we'll see what happens in the conversation.
Yeah, Adam, as the guy that said there's no way in heck that Tom Brady would ever leave New England, because it blows me away. You got a guy that's going to be the MVP 2 years in a row, and he's going to lead this franchise. But you're right, Adam. He's not going to orchestrate all of this stuff, all right, not to go somewhere else. And, Brew, I agree. I think he's got a target somewhere. Davante Adams is a free agent also, and they have cap move. Like, this is crazy.
Let's go back to last offseason. Him and Davante Adams posting the Last Dance pictures together. Now, again, the year might have changed some things, but Davante Adams really wasn't all that enthralled about re-signing with Green Bay. They don't have the cap room for him right now. His contract's up. He's a free agent. Aaron Rodgers is a free agent. And they have, as Aaron Rodgers last night said himself, some major decisions to make. You take a look at the outlook right there. $44.8 million over the cap for next year. And that doesn't even include Davante Adams.
Right. But that's my point. So, I mean, here's the crazy thing, too. All of a sudden, they're going to go from a team that clearly wins the division every year that Aaron Rodgers is there, you assume, all right, to now I mean, it's wide open.
Yeah.
You've got the Bears and Vikings looking for a new head coach. They can come in and win the division.
If Aaron Rodgers isn't there.
Yeah,
If
that's
he's
what
not
I mean.
there.
Yeah.
They don't have a chance if he's there.
Yeah, and don't you think that seeing these quarterbacks who are seeing what Tom Brady did,
Yeah,
like you kind of said, like we never thought Tom Brady would ever leave New England. Well, seeing how he did and seeing the success that he had, I would feel like a guy like Aaron Rodgers would say, it was a breath of fresh air. It was a little change up for Tom Brady. That would be good for me as well. I mean, I could just kind of see this all coming together. You almost like you kind of know how the movie's going to end.
There's only a few players that have this type of power. I mean, the elite quarterbacks have this type of power to sculpt their own contract. This is what I end up wanting to do. This is the choice I'm going to be making. And then, by the way, how many of these guys' phone numbers do I have that I want to call and bring along with me to Denver or wherever I'm going to go?
Right.
And the Packers gave that to him last summer because they knew that there was a chance that they weren't going to have him last year. So let's have one more year where we get together. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if we can improve the relationship, work on it. We'll revisit this again next offseason, but we will give you these assurances and these things in writing to make it such that you, Aaron Rodgers, you will get to dictate where you're going. And that's what they did, because if he had not showed up last year, they had the numbers on him. They had the ability to go after the money on him. They didn't have to do anything for him. They shifted it, and that was basically the trade-off by him coming in this year.
You know, I said this 2 years ago, when they drafted Jordan Love. I thought they could have used that draft pick of giving him some more help. And, with the way it's going down right now, two years in a row representing or going to the NFC Championship, and then you're out in the second round. I wonder if that draft and that Jordan Love, he had his decision made up way back when.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.